In this video, Candice mashes my potatoes. We anchor with a front and a rear anchor for the first time. I do some push-ups, come across a naval mine, and sail 67 miles only to end up 300 meters from where I started. We are leaving Bushiska, I don't know how to pronounce it yet, but it was so far. Candice, what do you think? Our favorite stay in Croatia?
Oh no, it was magnificent.
It was
I used to think I loved Regatta the most, but this was just so much more quaint, and there were some beautiful natural places to walk around, and I loved it.
It was wonderful.
Bye.
Beautiful little town, very friendly people in the harbour master's office, and very reasonably priced.
We actually had dinner last night at the friendliest Croatian restaurant ever.
Yeah.
The people were super.
We didn't check out this beach bar, which I think is now closed for the season. It's a lovely looking beach bar. Let's get a bit of a view of it.
And our harbour master was exceptionally experienced and really patient, and we saw, well, obviously with his interaction with us and his interaction with everybody else, he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And
Lots of good safety tips as well.
yeah, he won't let you leave unless it's safe, and he even tells you sort of where to anchor that night, you know, what to be aware of, not where to anchor, but you know, where to shelter from.
Anyway, let's go and get you to the mainland, and I might even see my family tonight. I've got two cousins that are in town. So I've got 2 kilowatts in the motors. I'm doing 4.5-ish knots, around about there. A little bit of a headwind, 7 knots, but probably 4 of that is due to the speed of the boat. The solar panels must be very clean, because I'm making 2 kilowatts of power at 10:30 a.m. in mid-September, which is more than I would have expected over the last few days. But I think the sky is very clear. Solar panels are cold. Cold solar panels make more power, and I think the rain over the last few days has definitely cleaned them very well. This is the, I don't know if it's the old lighthouse or the current lighthouse, but it also functions as some accommodation now. Somebody owns it and there's an accommodation sign on it. Beautiful place. I think the lighthouse still works. I think it's just automatically operated, and there's a solar panel just underneath it, which I think keeps the batteries going. We took a walk there this morning, a nice long forested road all the way there, which was lovely. So we are making very slow progress at the moment, because we've got a 15 knot average headwind coming from 34 degrees in that direction. It also means we've got quite a big swell, and it's going to make for much slower progress than I hope. We're more or less halfway, not quite halfway, we're nearly halfway. We've still got a couple of hours to go to get there, maybe 2.5 or so at this speed. I suspect that it's this V in the mountain here. There you can see it. That seems to funnel wind in both directions. So the other day it was funneling it from the mountain towards me very strongly. I think now it's funneling it the other way into that gap, and I'm hoping that once we get out of range of that strong wind and associated swell and wave and all of that will go away. So the wind has marginally let down. In fact, it hasn't actually. It's 16-17 knots at the moment, and we've going much slower. We're only doing 3 knots into this wind. That's the direction it's coming from. Occasionally we get some quite big swells. Now it's not too bad, but it is quite chilly if you have a look over here. This is not quite how we normally go sailing. We've got Candice and Niles looking very cozy.
I still have a swimming costume on underneath.
Alright, and where's Napoleon?
He's a little burrito.
Wrapped up. He's quite happy.
We've got 2 blankets here.
2 blankets,
Two
okay.
blankets.
And
a hot water bottle poodle.
okay. And we still have probably another 2 hours to go at this speed, 7 miles. I think that means we're at our halfway point, 7 miles each way, a 14-mile trip. And hopefully the water stays nice and flat, and it would be nice if the headwind either turned into the side or died away completely. Alright, so we have finally arrived at the anchorage. It was pretty hairy the last probably the last hour or so. We had 20 knots sort of at 20 degrees, and quite big wave and swell, white caps on the water, very unpleasant going into that type of wave. So these are my new neighbours, and fortunately I had good sunshine and it was very cold, so at one point my solar panels are actually making 100% of their power, 400 watts each, which is pretty good. But now it's cloudy, but it doesn't really matter because I've already made my power for the day. And yeah, there's still wind warnings. There's one for today and then an even stronger one for tomorrow. So I don't think I'll be going anywhere because the wind will be coming from this direction, which is the same direction that it's coming from today, and it would make it very, very uncomfortable getting to my next anchorage, which is the one that's protected from virtually every direction, and that's why I want to go and spend a few days there while we have some not terrible weather but not great weather either. Candice, how are you doing?
I'm good, honey.
You happy to be here out of the bumps? You weren't managing too badly actually.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
It was kind of nice.
It started off well and it got progressively worse, and by the time we got here it was pretty terrible. But now I'm quite happy again. We're in a good spot. Dogs don't seem to mind too much. Should we get them to the beach? It's just going on sunset. I'm in Stobrik, which is where I've spent the last 2 nights because I had to drop Candice at the airport. It's been cloudy, we've had some rain, but things have cleared up now and it's beautiful light out. And I'm heading in that direction tomorrow, behind that island, I think to the next one, where I'm going to spend a couple of days. There's a few more days of rain. Ooh, what was that? Dolphins! It's great having an electric dinghy because I can really sneak up on them. Good morning once again. I am leaving the Bay of Stobrik. It was a very good, very safe place to stay in the northerlies. Got my canopy down because we've had a couple of days of rain. It's been pretty cold, and Bora wind is also a very cold one. The Bora is gone, thank goodness. There might be a few gusts left, but it looks like it's going to be the day's still quite early. It's only 20 to 10. And I'm going back to my other favourite bay in the area called Vinisce, which is protected from pretty much everything. Maybe a slight bit of southeast can get in there, but the rest is good. And we're looking at 4 days of rain, so that's a place I can drop anchor and not worry about wind changes or anything like that. So that's my plan for the next few days. Candice is away. I'm a solo sailor, as I seem to be all the time this season. And she gets back in a few days, so I might actually come back to this bay to pick her up, and then we'll head from there south towards Dubrovnik. It was a nice day. I got to see my cousins who were in town. I haven't seen them in probably more than a decade. They've been living in Amsterdam for a while, and just coincidentally they came to Split for a bit of a holiday, and again coincidentally I was very, very close to Split, so I hopped on a bus to get into town. It took me about 15 minutes and I got to see them, which was very nice. And this morning we saw some dolphins. Me and the dog saw some dolphins swimming around the boat. And I do love dolphins, and they always seem to come out when Candice is not here. So I've been doing a lot of headwinds lately. At the moment I've got an 8-knotter. I've got 2.2 kilowatts going into the motors, and I'm only doing 4.5-ish knots. Which is not great speed, not terrible speed, but it is nice to have been seeing dolphins on the trip. And I see I've got a large ferry going in front of me there. focus on the ferry and not the windows. It's cold today. I'm sailing from the inside. Yeah, wind on the nose. I'm not going to be tacking up and down. I haven't got a long way to go. Check my map quickly. I've got 15 miles to go. So probably about 3.5, 4 hours or so, depending on what the wind does later on today. Another view of that big motor yacht. 140,000 euros a week to charter this. 4 knots into 9 knot headwind. Slow going. Lots of sailboats, charter boats I'm assuming out today. And my guess is that because we've had sort of 2-3 days of very miserable weather, cold and windy and rainy, they've all hung in port. Ooh, nice big wake from that ferry. And today they're going out to go and visit a few of the islands. It's pretty much the end of charter season. Once the German schools go back, which they did nearly a week ago, you start seeing less and less charter boats out. About an hour away from the destination. I'm back in the islands again, or these are probably considered rocks. They're actually considered rocks until they're fairly big. I think a couple of hectares if I remember right. The nice thing is there's no swell at all. I've still got a headwind, about 6 or 7 knots. I've had that the whole day. The sky is crystal clear. It really looks pretty after all the rain. And there's a catamaran coming towards my way. Let's see what type that is. Been a nice day. My boat's been, I've been using a kilowatt on each motor pretty much all day, and the batteries are still full. The sun has been providing all the propulsion all day, 4 knots on average because of the headwind, and I haven't drained the battery at all. I drained it when it was cloudy and it filled it up again. I could probably put another 100 watts on each motor, but it won't really give me too much extra speed, so I'll just leave it there because it's nice and easy. How beautiful does that sky look? See the windmills turning in the background. It's going to be the last good day for a while. There's going to be a couple of days of miserable weather. Hopefully just rain and not thunderstorms, but there's also some strong wind predicted. So the one thing that has been quite interesting is just how much the panels are enjoying this cooler weather. At the moment I've got just over 2 kilowatts going to the motors, 205. And I'm still charging the batteries now because there was some cloud coming for a little bit. They're about 400 watts. I checked on my Victron app and I'm pulling in over 2,800 watts of power out of the 3,200, so pretty much at 90% of rated capacity, which is, I think, pretty good for this late in the year, so that's really quite nice. Yeah, about 3 miles to go, so it won't take me very long at all, and then I'll settle in. Wind hasn't shifted from on the nose the whole day, so I've been very glad to have an electric boat today. I've just sort of put it on drive and set the autopilot and just hung around. I'm listening to music, but I can't shoot a video while I'm listening to music because I'll get called up on YouTube's copyright claims, so I have to pause it every time. That is a nice way to spend the day. So if you look carefully, this island has got one structure on it. It's definitely a house. But it's tiny. The whole island is tiny. And it's not filming the structure. There we go. And I've tried to find on Google Maps what it is, but it doesn't come up as anything. I think it's a private house. I think somebody lives here. There's a boat parked in the bay, and I wonder if that's how they get to the island and back. It's pretty close to Regatta and Split, but it's a very small island. I'll post an overhead shot of it from Google Maps so you can see what it looks like. It might be a little bit too remote for me. But yeah, I suppose if you've got a fast boat, you're in Regatta in, I don't know, maybe an hour's time. Not too bad at all. Well, arrived safe and sound. It's really busy here. There seems to be a regatta on, and they've chosen this bay to be the bay that they are hanging around in, apparently until the end of the day, and then they'll be moving on. And it's very busy, and I don't like it when I've got boats rafted together. So whenever I see boats rafted together, I know they don't respond like normal boats do. So I'm taking the dogs for a walk. There's a road that goes up this mountain which I've wanted to walk for a long time. I'm probably about halfway there. I'm not going to turn the camera, I'm going to hold it straight to try and give you an indication of how steep this road is. And I don't know if that gives you any indication, but I lived in Lisbon for quite some time, and this is much steeper. There are so many birds, you see them with flags flying. And quite a few of them have already left. I thought this was a great example of a dry stone wall. So Croatia is full of these. They crisscross the island everywhere. And they don't use any cement or anything like that. They've been here for hundreds of years. But each stone is chosen carefully to be able to balance on the other. So it's like a giant ancient Lego set basically. And I mean, they stand for hundreds of years. They just don't seem to fall over. And I don't have to tell you, but the wind here can be quite extreme quite a lot of the time. And we've finally gone as high as we can go without climbing over walls, so I'm going to call this the summit. I believe that's Vinisce Island over there in the background, sticking up. A little bit further than the distance between here and Vinisce is Italy. I would have loved to have been able to see it, but I can't see it at the moment. I also see another island way in the distance over there. Is it an island or is it something else? So I'm going to look that one up and see if I can see what that one is. I was really hoping I could see something in Italy from up here, because I'm very high. I'll have to check on the GPS how high I actually am. So I just looked on the maps, and beyond these islands in that direction, I mean, you guys can all see that there isn't another tall island. There's nothing that sticks out that far. All I can think of is that it might actually be one of the islands on Italy. There's quite a tall mountain in that exact direction called Piso Cefaloni, which is quite a tall mountain, and I'm wondering if that's not that. So apparently from the 185 meters where I am at the moment, you can see about 48 kilometers in the distance, which is not far enough. But opposite me over there is the mountain called Piso Cefaloni, and it is 2.5 kilometers above sea level. And I do think that's what I'm seeing. That's the only thing that's out there that I would be able to see. There shouldn't be anything else in their eyes. So there's my boat, and I've got catamarans on both sides of me. So on the right hand side of the picture there is a 40-foot Fontaine Pajot, and on the left I think are two mid 40-foot lagoons. It's just to show you how the size difference works. I'm not sure if this is going to pick up the colour of the sunset, but it is nearly purple. That's not picking it up. Show me the purple. Quite something, quite something. Even those clouds look purple, but on the screen they just look white, unfortunately. The boat has pulled up next to us, and if I zoom in on the name, it's another boat called Electra. What are the chances of that?
Nothing to do with Electra.
And I'm on my way again, solo, but I'm going to go and get to my anchorage near the airport so I can fetch Candice again. I've enjoyed this little bay. It's a good bay to get stuck in for bad weather. We did have some chop coming in, but it is slightly open in the front there. It really wasn't bad at all. Okay, and back on my 2 kilowatt power, 1 kilowatt on each side. If you're wondering why my controllers are here, it's because they're also solar powered. There's little solar panels on the front, and so every now and then I need to charge them. If they run flat, I'll go open this cupboard and grab the cables and plug them in quickly. It's happened to me a couple of times before, so I do try and keep an eye on things and keep them charged up. I've got a 40-foot lagoon going past me. This is the smallest size they currently make for the lagoons. In fact, I think they've stopped making the 40s, and now they only make the 42s. They are very pretty boats, and the old 380 that we sailed on was my dream boat for a very long time. But just seeing what it costs to moor a big catamaran, I don't think I'd like to go any bigger than this. So it's turned out to be one of the perfect days to be on an electric boat. The wind has died down completely, there's nothing, and the sun is shining fully, there's no clouds in its way anymore. So I'm doing 4.5 knots on 2 kilowatts of power. So I do like to keep fit and keep strong. I do a lot of rowing, which works the biceps quite well, but I think it does the triceps and the chest. So when I'm sailing, I do a quick check around and I like to do 25 push-ups. I'm going to do 4 sets, which gives me 100 per day. But they're harder because the boat goes up and down and works your core as well, which I think is quite fun. It's been perfectly smooth, which is something I like, and yeah, motors are happy, rowing along quite nicely. Very blue water. I saw dolphins twice, which is always fun. They didn't come and play with the boat like they did the last time. Hopefully when Candice is on board we'll see some more. And yeah, there's the bay. I see a couple of sailboats with sails out, but I suspect they've just got their sails out because they're motor sailing. Almost no wind anywhere. A couple of big mountains up front. A few dark clouds, but there is only a prediction for some light thunderstorms in the open sea, so hopefully we'll be okay where we are. Nothing from my region, so that should be good. But you never know. I mean, the weather does surprise sometimes. There's a buoy out here that looks like it could be a mine almost. Really interesting choice of colours. Silver buoy like that. Well, I guess it does keep people from bumping into it. You do take notice. Alright, well we arrived to what was the end of a thunderstorm, a very, very brief thunderstorm, and then you could see a lot of rain in the mountains over there, and then it faded away very quickly, so I didn't even need to close the canopy, which was good. Now it's time to get the battery onto the dinghy, because whenever we get to shore, these guys are chomping at the bit to go and pee, I'm guessing. So they really want to get to shore, and I'm going to go and take them now. And there we are, anchored in the middle of the bay. The sun is shining, my shower will be hot tonight. I've turned on the water heater remotely, which is great. And the batteries will be full by the time I get back, so good day in the end. Candice, we've got some dolphins again.
I think we put nails in the water, they'll come fish near.
Okay, let it come this way. This is a nice one, eh?
Let's get in. Let's get in, get close to it, and I'm getting in.
No, we're gonna let it be, and we'll let it drift. Hello. There they go. Where do you think they're coming up next? I think over there. Ah, there they go. Mind the wake. It's quite a big wake. Airport pickup done, and we're going back to Pachizka for one night because our friends haven't seen it and they want to go, and we're kind of travelling together. There is zero wind. That little thing on top, which should be spinning, isn't spinning. Now, we are moving forward at 4 knots. We're motoring with about 700 watts on each motor, which means that the wind must be coming from directly behind us at exactly 4 knots. And I've got a passenger on the boat, which is amazing. I haven't had a passenger for a long time.
I was away for 4 nights.
My chief stew is back. I know you were away for 4 nights, but you were gone just before that, and you're going to be here for a few days. You're here for what, nearly a week?
Woohoo!
Wow, that's amazing. Actually, more than a week. On the 2nd, you fly out of Dubrovnik, so that's our long-term plan. And between then and now, we have some islands to go and see, and some storms to avoid. There's a couple of days of rain again, and I see the 2 primaries are very happy to have you back. And what did you see this morning?
So every single time I leave to do a job, Patrick has these incredible encounters with dolphins. With dolphins swimming between our holes, dolphins jumping in front of our boat, even jumping, performing all around the dinghy. And it was getting to a situation where I thought that maybe he was like getting really good at AI or photoshopping, but it was getting ridiculous. But today we walked our little dogs. We took them to Dog Beach, and on our way back on the dinghy there were 2 dolphins. It was a mother and a little baby, and they were actually really big. And yeah, but they were just out hunting and having fun, and they were leaping quite a bit, so it was really lovely to see.
So you believe me that there are real dolphins in this place?
Well, at least they're 2.
At least there's 2.
There's 2.
So we're not doing very good speed at the moment. I mean, it doesn't look like a lot. It's sort of 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 4.5 knots. But I'm calling it very good because I've only got pretty much 700 watts on each motor. So it's 1.4 kilowatts. I'm doing over 4 knots, which is quite something. We're getting overtaken by a cream-coloured motor yacht. It's not a bad colour. What do you think, Candice? Do you like it?
I like it.
You like it? Oh, not a bad looking boat. It's kind of trawlerish more than its kind of standard motorboat. So its wake is also quite small. In fact, the wake coming off the dinghy they're towing actually looks bigger than the wake from the yacht itself. And apparently our friends are somewhere over there. They sent me a location. They can see us, but I'm struggling to see them. Maybe we're just an easier boat to spot. My wife is looking beautiful today. Your skin looks amazing. What have you done? Is it boat life that keeps you looking fresh and young?
Yeah, it's definitely boat life.
You're lucky the boat is always in the shade. The primaries have not moved. They are living their best lives on a pillow. Niles has got just a head pillow. Polly has a full body pillow. Yeah, this is my kind of sailing. 0 wind, 4.5 knots, smooth sea. Give it to me any day. I know I should say I actually love sailing, and I like to put the sails up and all the rest. But when when you don't hear your boat's engines, it's a different story. So this is kind of like what I like to do, and my wife likes it too. She's just saying she's enjoying the sailing, and it turns out she was enjoying the sailing, but she was enjoying the chat. Isn't that sweet?
You like the black thing? Tell me. Tell me. Walk it down.
Crossing cars with a very large sailboat. Definitely have a crew on board. Quite a pretty sailboat as well. What do you think of the sailboat, darling? Do you want this one?
Oh, it looks like a lot of wood to sand and paint. And that would be my job.
You are the chief sander and painter.
Oh, look at the old school anchor.
Very nice. You see they've got all the guests on the back. They were thanking us for getting out of their way. What does it say on the back of that boat?
Did you see the old school anchor?
I don't think it was an old school. It looked like a Bruce anchor to me.
Darling, go back to the video and have a look.
So we've arrived at the anchorage, and it's pretty narrow. There's the shore on the one side, and there's the rocks on the other side. Now, I've got, we're in 2 meters of water, and I've got 10 meters of chain. My anchor is dug in nicely, but I am still worried a little bit about swinging across to the sides. This side is probably okay because I'll hit boats and not rock, whereas this side is rock. Now, according to my measurements, I've got 25 meters on each side. Subtract maybe 3 for the rocks on the right hand side, so call it 22, and I've got 10 meters of chain, and I've got a boat that's about, probably about 9 and a bit meters. So it is cutting it close, and because of that I'm going to go and drop an anchor at the back of the boat, a stern anchor, to keep me sort of oriented in this direction. And I think it'll be okay, as long as there's no storms. I'm sure it'll be fine. But it's not something I've ever done before, so let's go see how it goes. And it worked quite well. I took the anchor out on the sup, dropped it into the ground, pulled it tight when I got to the boat, and it bit immediately, and it bit really, really hard. One last look at Bajiska. It'll be a while before we ever come back this way. It was great being here, which is why we came back 3 times.